All right, we back. First episode for April. As everybody know, I'm Tweezy. Who do I have to the left of me, right of me? It's crazy. You ain't gonna say your name?
Oh, I thought you said. I thought you were gonna introduce me. Yeah, I'm Goddess Delana on the other side.
Okay.
Tweet, tweet, tweezy. Yeah,
Yeah. So we met. I don't even know. It's been like 5 years.
probably like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I was about to drop something off for you for Kadeen, and that's when I found out that you were prior military. Yeah.
Exactly.
So how
Yes,
did that come
the
about?
Semper Fit sweatsuit that I still be wearing sometimes. I really like it.
Yeah, Semper Fresh. Yeah, I got
Semper
yeah
Fresh, my bad.
the SF. They stay rocking some of the merch. Um, how did you jump into the? Well, first off, where you
Like I
from?
jumped right out the Marine Corps Semper Fit. My bad.
Yeah,
That's from Marine Corps.
that's Marine Corps. It is Marine Corps. That's the gym version. You know what I mean? But yeah. So where you from?
Originally, I'm from Philadelphia, so not that far from where I live now. I'm still out by Quantico, which was my last duty station. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm from Philly,
Okay. And what was your upbringing like? Coming up from Philly. What part of Philly?
North Philly in the beginning, like when I was a little girl up to seventh grade,
Hmm.
Strawberry Mansion, where let me turn my phone up, where Kevin Hart is from.
Yeah.
And Bill Cosby and stuff, all from Strawberry Mansion. And then we moved out southwest, 59th in Baltimore. And I went to a performing arts high school. Shout out to Kappa. And yeah, I had a decent upbringing. Um, Originally, my parents were married, then divorced. Our life did change a little bit with my mom becoming, because she was a stay at home mom, and then she had to start working and things like that. So life
Yeah.
did change, but it was all good. Like I had a really good childhood, very artistic, very supported, very loved. Um, Good childhood. I mean, I grew up in the hood,
Yeah.
but
You said no Philly, so
it was
yeah.
cool too. Being where I'm from 27th in York, like Dolphin, all that area. Um, and it was all black.
Hmm.
And I really liked the way I grew up. All the businesses were black owned too. So I
Okay.
did grow up seeing black excellence, so to speak, black entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And although we did live like in the hood, there was really family. It wasn't violent. I didn't grow up in a violent neighborhood. It was
Yeah.
very familiar. We had the candy lady on the block. We had block parties. Like everybody was really close. And I'm actually still close with a lot of my friends from
Okay.
elementary school.
That's dope. So you went to the performing arts school. What was you doing? Was you acting? Was you playing any instruments?
I was a dance and theater arts major.
Okay.
So most of my classes were dance, but when you major in dance, they make you take vocal lessons and acting. So my school day was like 2 periods of dance and then 1 period of a different art. Like it could
Hmm.
be the theater class or vocal lessons, but we only had those alternative ones like 2 or 3 times a week. But I danced every day, 2 periods a day.
Okay. What what were some things that inspired you to go to the performing arts school? Were you always a dancer? Were you always acting, doing theater around the house?
Yeah, my mom like she was super supportive of me being in art, and she worked really really hard to pay all those high fees. Like I did go to Freedom Theater,
Hmm.
which I think Freedom Theater ended up closing. I'm not sure, but Freedom Theater was huge for a lot of Philadelphians
Yeah.
in their acting career, like namely Erica Alexander. I think they just named the street after her off of Freedom Theater, like Broad Street.
Oh,
And
that's dope.
yeah, like Freedom Theater was a big foundational block for my dancing
Mhm.
career and aspiration. I started that in elementary school, and then But yeah, I was always funny, and my mom encouraged that. It was a part of our family bonding. We would have like
Yeah.
talent shows and stuff at the barbecues, things like that. And yeah, I guess it was just part of our family, being a comedian, being funny, and doing impersonations. And I think I started off too, because my mom would say when we were really small, she would take us to wherever, and people would just give us free things. She was just saying, you guys were just so cute. We would get free meals, free whatever. And so then she had me doing impersonations. Oh, I'll tell you how it started. I was one of those ask question every 5 minutes little type of toddlers. And I was curious about everything. And my mom told me that some of the stuff I would ask, she didn't know the answer to. Like she did not know. I would ask everything from why is the sky blue to, I mean, everything.
Yeah.
And so she said one day she just started saying, hey, why don't you memorize this? She's the one that kind of started me doing, I would do Mae West impersonations. Now, a lot of people don't know who Mae West is, but I am almost 50 years old. So Mae West was a thing when I was a little girl. So she had me start learning Mae West. And I would do like, hey, come up and see me sometime type of thing. And it kind of started from there. My mom just distracted me from scientific questions that she didn't know the answer to entertain in some other type of way. And so I think that kind of started it. And
Okay.
the attention I got from the people, I guess, made me want to do it more. And then I wanted to be a professional actress and dancer and entertainer. And I was going on auditions and stuff like that. So when I was real small, I was acting and I had done some small stuff like plays and like there was a show they filmed in Philly called Captain Kangaroo. Like I was on that show, just like little things until I was about 10, 11. And then I stopped professional work and then I just focused on school.
Okay. So with all of that acting, you wanted to be like the class clown or acting in front of your mom and your family. How did you end up to the Marine Corps?
Oh, that was not planned. I got married young and ended up getting divorced young. And but before we got divorced, we sat down and we made a plan. And the plan was, you know what, we both decided we were gonna join the military. Like which service were we gonna join? And at first we both were gonna join the army. And but for me, my recruiter was just terrible. Oh, it's so sad to say that.
No, sometimes you got to keep it a buck,
I do. So we're gonna keep it
especially
100.
when it
This is
comes to the
before
military.
I joined the Marines. Yeah, like dude was his uniform would be dirty. Like he smelled like cigarettes. He was late all the time meeting me, even to the point where he was late. He took me to my ASVAB test late. And he had to like convince the lady to let us in and take the test because he was late. The proctor, the test proctor. So long story short, we did get in. I took the test and everything. I did well. And one day I was outside and he was late and I was waiting for him because the place I was going to meet him was at one of those recruit depots. So all the services was in there.
Yeah.
And I happened to just be outside waiting. And the Marine Corps recruiter walked up and he was like, you waiting on your recruiter again, ain't you? And I was like, yep. And he was like, well, listen, he's like, if you want to be a part of a more professional establishment, follow me. No, he said, more professional organization, follow me.
Yeah.
And that's all he said. And I did. Like he walked past, opened the door, and I just pretty much about face and walked right behind him. And then I was like, well, I've taken the ASVAB already under the Army. He said, but you haven't dipped in. He said, I can get everything switched to the Marine Corps. And that's how I ended up joining the Marine Corps. It wasn't really on purpose. It was about how the recruiters were, and it just seemed like the best one.
Dang, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
the appearance and how he pretty much carried himself is the reason why you went to the Marine Corps. Dang. So, I mean,
Yeah. My dad was a Marine too, though.
So that made more sense. But like most of the time, like when your parent is one branch, we always try to go like a different way. Or, like grandparents, like for me, my grandfather, my uncle was in the army on my dad's side. And then on my grandma's side, my grandfather was in the Air Force and the Navy. So like, I'm like, well, I don't want to do nan one of them. I seen them in it, you know what I mean? But I haven't experienced it. So I was like, you know what, let me try something different. You know what I mean? And I was kind of like the same thing, like what my recruiter told me. What was your MOS?
I was public affairs.
Oh, you was PA.
Yeah, my MOS doesn't even exist anymore. I was a combat correspondent. So it's
Oh,
like
so you
just
was
full
on the
time.
AFN network?
I was not. That was my B billet, but I
Oh,
was a writer photographer. So before they separated just what they used to have combat camera and PAO. They've since combined those two, but back in the day it was either you did the journalism and you may have, taken accompanying art. They always gave us a camera kit and we wrote, or you were straight up like the digital on a digital side, and they called that combat camera, and those are the ones that made the videos and all that. So no, my accent actually stopped me. I did audition for AFN, so they ended up making it my B billet because of my Philly accent. They said it was too strong. Yeah, they said you needed a
but
more
they
neutral
put a New
accent.
Yorker up there with
But
their
that's what
accent.
I said. That's what I was just like, whatever. Maybe
Yeah,
now it's different, but this was 2004 too, and they just said they wanted a more neutral accent.
right. That's crazy
But they
because
still did make it my B billet, like I said. It still was on my record though. I could do it.
yeah, because I had a homie. I was saying in I think another episode ago that he was from New York and he was on the AFN network, and I was in Iraq in '05, and I'm like, yo, that's DiGirolamo. Like, like what? We was just in boot camp together a year ago. So you know what I mean? That was crazy. So you did journalism,
Yeah.
PA. Yeah, I mean that's dope. Like if you think about it, you went from dance, theater to journalism. Like those three alone, you know what I mean, are different creative. You're just a creative all around.
Yeah, I think I am.
And then how long did you do public affairs while you was in?
The whole time I did public affairs. I just did one. Well, you know how it is. You get 4 active and 4 inactive, and you get
Yeah.
your real separation your 8 years later. But I only did 4 active. I did do my inactive reserve time actively, if you would say that. Like I participated in all my IRR activities. I did my MOL, like my Marine Online stuff. I took all my classes. Like I did all the stuff I was supposed to do. Because honestly, I thought about coming back in because I had got accepted to OCS. I was going to be a public affairs officer because I had my degree already. My degree was in broadcasting. So I did dance. I went to Temple University. I did dance. I was a diamond gem. It's still hard to get on that team. That ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
Great accomplishment. However, I didn't major in dance because I would just be 100. We being a buck on this podcast. I didn't have the confidence in myself. I thought that I would be a starving artist. I didn't see, I didn't know that you could make a lot of money dancing. Choreography, I knew you could do, but at that time, I thought you need this connection or that. Like, I just didn't have the confidence in myself, and I should have stayed with it because some of my friends, they still doing so well right now. Like some of them dancing for like Cirque du Soleil or, the Eagles or the Sixers. Like it was a straight pipeline. Like if you majored in dance and you did a diamond gym, you most likely going to get on the Eagles team or you're going to get a cheer position or a dance position somewhere. But at that time I couldn't see it. And I knew what I could do naturally. What's a God-given talent? I could write. I could write. And my mom had always told me, if you write well, you'll always have a job. And so just the fear kind of led me to major in broadcasting. But I did take it broadly. Like I didn't major in journalism. I didn't major in theater. Like I majored in broadcasting, telecommunications, and mass media. I learned everything. I learned radio. I learned video. I learned, back in the day we cut and splice reels, like before
Yeah,
digital came out.
right,
I
right.
was doing that, making projects, making music, like writing things, like theater, like BTMM, I think is the best major out there if you're not exactly sure what you want to do, but you know how to communicate and you want to learn that and you want to
Right,
make
right.
good money. I took broadcast performance. I thought I wanted to be a news anchor. So that major, when I say helped me in the
Yeah.
rest of my life,
Hmm.
that was the one. And it
So,
helped me with the Marine Corps because I already knew how to write before I went to the
before you
Marine.
joined the Marines, you went to Temple. So yeah,
26. Yeah, I
yeah, we
was
gotta
late.
touch on that. Yeah, yeah, we gotta touch on that because you went to performing arts school, graduated, went to Temple, studied, and got your degree in broadcasting, right? Is it communications? What's the whole degree?
It's the whole thing,
Okay.
BTMM, broadcast telecommunications mass media. So I also learned how people think and how to communicate, how advertising works. I'm telling you, that's the best
Wow.
major ever.
Now it all makes sense how like everything is going into like what you do now. You know what I mean? Because when I met you, um, you were you have a business in body sculpting, right?
I
Or
still do that.
tell
I'm in
yeah,
the
let's talk
studio
about
now.
it. Yeah, let's talk about it. What's the name of the business and what you do?
Okay. Yeah, so I am a master esthetician. So after the Marine Corps, I used my GI Bill to go to aesthetic school and then master aesthetic school. Cause yeah, I could
Mhm.
have done it and got an advanced degree in like journalism or broadcasting or communications, whatever, to build off of my bachelor's.
Right.
But I wanted to learn something with my hands. And so at the time I was struggling with really bad skin and I wanted to understand it more. And I'm like, well, it would be a free education. I'm gonna do that because
Hmm.
in between that, I had worked on cruise ships. Like I got a really very life experience. After the Marine Corps, I worked on cruise ships. I worked on Carnival,
Hmm.
and then after that, I started selling cars. Like so, it's a weird little transition there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the cars business got really slow. And so I'm like, what else can I do? And that's when I said I'm gonna use the GI Bill to do something tactile, something that don't depend on whatever. Like people always gonna be concerned about their aesthetic, what they look like. And
Right.
they're going to find the money for that. Like, cause I've seen it in my life. People, they may not have money for whatever, but they're going to have money for their lashes or they're going to get money for their hair or they'll start trying to do it themselves. But the point I made to myself is it's important to people how they look, how they come across. And so I want to learn how to do this. And that was what made me take the aesthetics course. And then one thing led to another. And I ended up opening my own body contouring business.
So with that business, you said you a master esthetician because you had things with your skin. I don't know if you can see mine, but you know what's some pointers you can give me? Because as men, we how can I put it? For me, I can't say for everybody. 'Cause I know a lot of people's skin that look worse, but I think I have good, greater skin, or however you say it. But how do you maintain that? Like, what's some things I can use, or some things I can do, or I can get from the store, or what you do when I come to you?
Okay, that's super easy. You do look like you have decent skin, especially like up here in your forehead. I could see
Yeah.
um cleaning it, cleaning your body, being hydrated with water, not like juice and soda, just straight up spring water and cleaning your skin at least once a day. I know everybody say two, but I know sometimes people's lifestyle, whatever it is, they can't do two. But at least wash your
Mhm.
face once a day.
Right.
You want to, if you don't like to drink water, you can. What I tell people, eat your water with water. Fill foods like celery, cucumbers, watermelon,
Watermelon. Yeah.
um, things like that. Like foods that have a lot of water in them,
Mhm.
and also a great skincare line that I always recommend to people that's good for all skin types is called Simple. Simple Skincare. It's very affordable. It's rice-based, it's hypoallergenic,
Mhm.
and it's super easy to use. So I would say you could get simple skincare, get the cleanser, and get the moisturizer, and maybe the sunscreen, and that's about it.
Where can I get that at?
Anywhere, Rite Aid, CVS, anywhere
Okay.
that has a skincare section, you should be able to find it. It's a UK-based brand, but it's distributed here, and it's been distributed here at least 10 years now.
Okay.
But
Simple, right?
the name of my company, yeah, just go simple. And the color is white and green or green. It's just green based white
Mhm.
color packaging. And my company name is Body Thief. Body Thief Body Sculpting. It's
Body
a little
Thief.
homage to Anne Rice. I love vampires. I love but that book isn't about a vampire, but I love Anne Rice. And so when I was thinking of my business name and helping people
Mhm.
shape their bodies, non-invasive and stuff like that. I was like, what is that? Like stealing fat, snatching fat? Oh, I'm gonna be the body thief. Like, and
Yeah.
it just went from there. So the business is like burglary themed. It's like really cool.
Yeah, that's a good play on words. Definitely a good play on words. How many years you been with having Body Thief?
Body Thief was born 2019, unfortunately out of a divorce. But my second marriage didn't work out either, unfortunately. But it brought Body Thief into
Mhm.
the world, and
Right.
I love my business.
Okay. Yeah, because when I came in there, you was working on somebody. I don't know. I forgot what I had to drop off, but it was something from Kadeem.
The Semper Fresh, the sweatsuit.
Oh, it
Oh, it
was. It was
was.
the it
It
was
was
the
a
it was the
hoodie and the
outfit. Was
pants.
it the crop top one? And
No,
it was. Oh no, it was the one with the stitching, with the
it's
logo
really
stitching.
nice. It's such
Yeah.
good quality too. I still wear that sweatsuit. Like it's really, really nice.
I'm
I
mad.
love it.
I had the blue one. I didn't have the other color, but I had the blue one.
I got that black and gray.
Yeah.
It was from Alejandra. Like I met him through her. His
Yeah.
wife. She was coming to me. She had just had some I was doing some post op on her.
Right.
And boom, yeah. And
Yeah.
then we ended up meeting and everything. And she's an amazing Marine
Yeah.
too.
Shout
And
out to
she used to be a
Alex.
drill instructor. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Both of them. Both of them.
oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know he was a drill instructor
That's
too.
how they met.
See, a lot
Yeah.
of them be meeting like that.
Yeah. That's how they met. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just like when we met, we just clicked. And she was talking about her husband, his business, how we could support each other. Like,
Mhm.
and then he do photography too. We talked about that because I was thinking about having him shoot some stuff for me and all that. Like, it was just everything. Just, I love my Marines. I love my Marine Corps friends. I didn't serve with them, but you
Yeah.
know how it
Yeah.
is.
It's
It don't
family.
even matter.
Yeah. It's family. We always. I mean, granted, you got your ones and twos. You be like, but 98% of the time, hey, we like this. You good? What you need? Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's how it is. You know
I
what I mean?
love. I miss that. I
Yeah.
miss having. I miss living on base. Like people love the shit on living on base, but that was my best time in the Marine Corps when I was living on base.
Base housing. I lived on base housing. Uh my last tour, I was in Pendleton, 374 Parmesan Circle. And like I'm telling you, I'm like, oh, this ain't bad after all. I had a nice crib too. Nice crib. It was super nice. My neighbors ain't bother me. It was nice.
Everybody is cool. Like, listen,
Yeah.
I would trade that for the world. I used to have barbecues all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we used to, I love being so close to work. My son
Yep.
was going to the school on base. Like, it was just so, that little community. You ain't even hardly have to leave base if you ain't want to. Like, all your
Yeah.
friends were there.
Everybody was there.
That was the time.
Yeah,
And I was in
everybody
that
was
new
there.
base house in Quantico they had just built. So
Oh
it was like
yeah, that joint was super
nice
nice.
with the garage and
Yeah.
stuff. Like my
It was
house
what
was
is it
all
like a
nice.
detached garage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My house was so nice. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Them joints was dope.
I wouldn't trade those days for the nothing in the world.
Yeah. Now you got the body sculpting, you got a broadcasting, mass media, you got Marine Corps. you said you was a car salesman at once. Like you was doing all type of stuff, right?
I used to drive a cab.
For real?
Yup. Right out here in Virginia, I used to drive a cab just for the summer. I never done it before. So I'm the type of person, if I've never done something, I want to try it, I'm going to do it. Yo, I was making like $150 a day though. Like driving a cab is actually, you can make some bank driving a
Yeah,
cab.
my grandfather used to do it. Yellow cab back in Detroit. He the first, Soldier Boy can't take this from him, but he the first cab driver to drive from Detroit to California in the cab. I promise you.
Why did he do that?
Because he didn't care. He always loved it.
He
He
had
used to
a
drive.
fare?
No, he didn't have a fare. He just drove. Like he drove the cab. He used to drive trucks too when he got out. So he like drove the cab from Detroit to California. He used to drive it to Florida all the time. But that's where he from. But he drove it to California. I said, ain't no way.
Ain't no way. We about to drive, me and my homegirls, but when we get to that other part of my life, which we're going to get to, we're about to drive down to New Orleans. I haven't done a road trip since my 20s.
What kind of vehicle y'all riding in, first of all?
A Honda CRV, but it's a brand new one. So
that's the bigger one.
Mm-hmm. It's
yeah,
a
you need some type of room. You need some type of room.
A 2024 or 2025. Either way, she said it's brand new. It's new.
Yeah.
So it should be decent. It's just gonna be 3 of us. It should be good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, y'all be straight.
Dang, it's 17 hours. We'll be all right.
Yeah, I drove. Yeah, that's about right. Because I drove from Dallas to DC and I was like 18 hours.
Well, I drove from Philly to Oklahoma, like Fort Sill, and that was 22 hours.
Sheesh. Yeah, that's them driving days. I loved them. And I got the memories of from me driving from Cali, from Detroit to Cali, from Cali back to DC. Cool. I ain't doing that no more.
I know.
I ain't doing it no more.
What I'm saying. It just seemed like it's gonna be a fun adventure.
Yeah.
Maybe for y'all, road trips.
So this what leads me back to what we was just talking about. So you got all of these things. And your name, I know your name from something else, but now your name is Goddess Delana. So let's talk about this name. And why is it this name? Because everybody,
Yeah, everybody don't know.
Everybody don't know.
Like, I'm not scared. Like, I've thought about it. Like, I thought about starting a whole new social page and this and that. And I was like, I don't care. Like, once I told my dad about it, it was a wrap. Like, I didn't care what nobody else thought. I told my mom, I told my dad, I told my son. I don't care what anybody else thinks.
Right.
So,
and what your dad said?
Yo, my dad think it's the funniest thing ever.
For
my
real?
mom is the one. Yeah, my mom is the one that's like, she I told her what I do. She say, you do that? I say, She was like this. Shut up. I just burst out laughing. That's all she said. She said,
Hey, I mean,
my dad, he is hilarious. He was all like, my baby got slaves and they white. He was like, I love that. He was like, my baby got slaves. He's like, ain't they white? He was like, yeah, I love it. He was like, he be asking me about them and stuff because I give him names. He's like, how Mutt Toad doing? So I know your listeners probably like, what's she talking about? So I'm a pro dominatrix. I specialize in financial domination, but I'm also a sadist. So I also conduct impact play sessions. And impact means exactly what that is. Impact.
Yeah.
Specifically trampling. I love trampling. I'm very petite. I'm like 110 pounds on a good day. So I can trample, especially if the person has a nice strong core, strong chest or whatever. I can even jump off of some and onto them. But I like trampling. I like what's called CBT, which is cock and ball torture. Like I like kicking them in the balls. And and I like flogging.
What's that?
Flogging is when you whipping somebody with a
Okay.
little.
Was that like a
With
move,
the
man?
yo, ain't this cute? Shout out T-Move with the phone cases.
That's
Yeah, it's a
crazy.
little man, and then it got a little cover for your phone joint too.
Oh, that's crazy. It really is a phone case. Wow. So you said fogging?
Flogging,
Flogging.
FLOG.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
Caning is kind of good, like with the cane, like it's a bamboo cane, and I haven't had many submissives like into that, but I did take a class, like, and I don't just do stuff willy nilly, like I'm into this, like for real, like I take classes, I have a mentor, I have 2 owned subs, and owned just means that they only submit report to me. They pay reparations. I find it. My niche is Black New World Order, financial supremacy, female supremacy, female led everything, female domination.
okay.
Yeah.
So like I'm super new to all of this. Like when I asked you a while ago, I'm like, what? Like you do this? Like what be going on? Like how do you find these people? It's like a whole nother world. You know what I'm saying? You know how, like, for me, like I do music,
It is another world.
It's a whole nother world. It's like the black market. You know what I mean? Only certain people know. So,
but you know what's really what I hate about it? I guess I'll start that first is the stigma and like the fact that Visa or PayPal or one of them type of things would like shut my account down if they knew I was getting paid for BDSM sessions, because this is a part of BDSM, and that part I don't like because it's hypocritical.
Right.
These people that own these companies, they be indulging in BDSM, trust and believe, because most of my clients are wealthy business owners. Like, oh, and I also specialize in something called TPE, which is total power exchange. And but the fact that they would flag your account for something like that when all this other stuff is legal makes no sense. But that's neither here nor there. So there's special platforms that I get paid through. But how do these people find me? Just, regular marketing, the way I post, things I say, the people that's in the lifestyle. Like I used to be more covert with it, but
like
now I'm just like, it's whatever.
So,
they know the terminology and stuff.
How would you describe like the job description of dominatrix who has never heard of it before?
Okay. Ooh, who has never heard of it before? It literally plays off of that word. So a dominant person, this could be the male or the female. So if you want to go terminology wise, it would be the dominant person and then the submissive person. But you also have people that go both ways, so they call them switches. I am not a switch. I don't submit. And I don't put myself in a submissive positions either, I think, if that makes sense. So I'm not the person that would want to be like tied up or deprived of any sensory things, or even like even before I've always had a dominant personality. That is true. But I still had traditional conditioning. I still have a religion in my background too. I was a Hebrew Israelite, and speaking Hebrew, everything. So we're taught that the woman should be submissive to the man, in the sense of just letting him lead the relationship, leading everything. Like you have your input and stuff. Like I remember, I used to be married to a minister actually, but the elder's wife at the temple I used to go to, she would give like women classes and training, and she would just teach you like, yes, the man is the head, but we are the neck. We actually, so the difference is, instead of like finessing a man Because a lot of times the women lead in the background anyway, because we more so be seeing through stuff and y'all be coming to us too, like, well, this and that. Like anybody that's been married, I would say no. A lot of times the woman is behind the man that's really giving them that
Yeah.
and the ability to go out and do what they do. I always say that's why men got the muscles. But we a lot of times can see everything and all the parts more. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you rationalize, women rationalize it and kind of see things better versus us going straight at things.
A lot of times women do lead the relationship. We just lead in the background. And a lot of times it's because of the ego that had been instilled in men from patriarchy.
Right.
But realistically speaking, I'm like, men usually defer to what we think, especially when they love and respect us, the women in their lives. They see our wisdom. They know we got it.
Right.
And I think so when it comes to the female being the dom, men have a fantasy because of patriarchy and stuff. They want a woman to be dominant over them and lead them. But I do it for money. So, and in my personal relationships, before you even ask about that, because a lot of people do ask, they're like, well, how are you in your personal relationship?
Yeah.
I don't prefer a submissive man to date.
Right.
In the sense of, I don't want somebody I feel like is a pushover. Being submissive don't mean that you let somebody walk all over you and disrespect you. It just means that you defer to them as the leader and the last voice of the decision is going to be made.
Okay.
But I like more dominant men, but not a man that claims to be alpha either, because I think that's BS. That don't mean nothing. Like, I don't know what that is. That's just some type of posture, macho posture, and that I don't deal with. I think those people are insecure. So, but again, to explain it to somebody that never heard of it, just literal definition of dominant and submissive is we play that out literally in what we call scenes. So these are scenes a lot of times. There are people that do this lifestyle and that's just how they live, which is the path I'm going on. But right now it's just played. I do scenes with people, and then the ones I own, it's an almost daily interaction.
Right.
So yeah, they have like daily tasks that they need to do. I monitor everything and I control like their life remotely because they don't. The own submissives that I have don't live in Virginia, so I do everything through.
So you controlling a submissive or a sub, as you call it, right? You controlling them remotely. That's crazy. What? That's crazy. What do you think the main distinctions between dominatrix and sex work?
The main difference?
Yeah, what's like the dominatrix service versus a sex worker?
I'm still considered a sex worker, even though I don't have sex. Like, because it's still sexual for them. Like, and I guess for me too, like it is a sexual exchange on both parts. Like I do get turned on by taking that much control and that much power over somebody. Like literally just telling somebody, hey, I'm going out with my friends, send for drinks. And they send within 60 seconds. Yeah, that gets me off. Like it's a little bit of, ooh, you get that little bit of those little vibration sensations. So it is, there's still a sexual thing to it, even though it doesn't involve your sex organs. It's still sex work. The difference is I'm just not in a submissive position and I don't care about the physical arousal of the man. Like I don't care. Like that's one thing I always say. I don't care about that flesh between your legs.
Right.
But for them, sending me money gets them off, giving me that control, gets them off. The fear of not being in control is what turns them on. The fear, like, because I do chastity too. And chastity for the newbies or any people listening don't know what that is. y'all heard of a chastity, what they used to call back in the day,
belt.
chastity lock for women? Yeah, where it was a literal key to unlock down to get to the vagina. I make the men wear chastity cage over their penis, and I control the key. So, like, the one I think you saw like last week, I named him Asset 467. He gave me the
What's his name?
Asset 467.
You like an
I
inmate.
I took him up their humanity and call him it's. You're no longer a man. You were just a servant.
Asset 467.
You're my plaything.
Wow.
So yeah, Asset 467. He had a lockbox, but he sent me the app, and I changed the master password. So he has the physical key, but I made him put the key into that strong box, and I changed the password so he couldn't get into it. And I made him sleep with the box on the pillow next to him, just to further
That's crazy.
the fear and the understanding that you don't control it. I do.
So, how did you get started in this career path? Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want, like I said, acting, theater, dance, Temple. What was the name of the dance group you was a part of in Temple? Freedom Theater, broadcasting. Like, how did you just jump Marine Corps, then body thief, and then let's go this way? Like, how does that?
Bruh, like, I ain't even gonna lie. Money at first. First, it was just money. First, it literally was, one of my friends, Marine, she is what's called a sensual top, and she does sensory stuff. So she's a dom, but she uses sensuality, topping her clients. I use humiliation and degradation, for my clients. We have two different type of clients.
Right.
But she was the one who told me you should be a dom, like professionally. And I'm just like, because I still have that religious upbringing. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing nothing like that. I'm still fighting against my natural nature of dominance, trying to bring that all down so I could be a good girl, a good woman, so I could be in the sight of God out how I thought it used to be. And so for a few years, her and this other guy I went to the Marine Corps with, actually an ex-boyfriend of mine, he's a top. And I'm just like, no, Marines be diamond? Like, what is going on? And next thing I know, you should look up Mistress Marley. And Mistress Marley is a financial dominatrix. But she's like a famous one. She's been all over the internet, news, everything. And I was like, maybe I should try this. And once I looked up Mistress Marley's stuff, and I saw that you could just get money just for being a powerful woman. A man would just give you money just because he thinks you're above him. I was just like, let me try this. Because I had been a sugar baby before by accident, but it happened. Like, men giving me money and stuff for nothing in return. It's been like for a long time. But I didn't know that was a type of man. I didn't even know that was a financial submissive. So I've had financial submissives in my past. I just didn't know that's what they were. Because I didn't feel like I was the one making them do it. They wanted to do it. So, yeah. So it was it was like bits and pieces through the years. And then finally, I was like, I needed some fast cash. And I said, let me try this financial dominatrix thing. And I signed up for Mistress Marley's Patreon on the $5 level. And then I said, let me just do the 20. And it just opened up all the videos and stuff. And I started watching it. And I was like, I could do this. And I just started small. One, set up my Twitter. Then I set up it's called Night Flirt. And I was just doing phone stuff, doming over the phone, just testing myself out. And I was afraid at first. I didn't even want to. I was just like, why would a guy give me money? Like, I couldn't even equate that was a sexual arousal. Like, giving money gets you off. Right. And at first, I kept trying to find reasons. Every sub I would talk to, I would be like, why do you send? And then they all had kind of the same answer. Oh, it makes me hard, or I just like the thrill of it feels like I'm gambling, giving a stranger my money, the fear of not being in control of my own stuff that I work so hard for. Like, and I know it seems weird that somebody would want that, but some of these men are like really, really high positions and they never get to express submission or express vulnerability or express anything other than leadership. And it's hard, like, I'm this. And all they want to do is get down on the floor and kiss your feet or something. Or, so we let them do it. I let them do it.
All right.
And it's sad too, because sometimes you talk to the men and they are married or they're in a relationship, but they can't express what they want to be. And then the ones who have, they said their wife or their girlfriend not interested in it. They don't want to be the leader in their relationship. Like the women have told them, I don't want to be the leader. Or I've had a submissive guy, he was in UK. He told me, like, I feel like an imposter. Like, I should have never gotten married. Like, I don't want to be the leader. I would rather be the one taking the directions.
Wow. So with that, I know you said that, you've been, when you first started, you were battling, like, your religion and everything. And you said what religion you were was a Hebrew Israelite, or what was it, another? So how do you go on a daily basis now? Like, did you forget about it, or you just
No, definitely not that. I just have a better understanding of it. Like, I truly believe that we were given free will. Like, I really, really do. I don't think there's any consequences outside of the consequence we create for ourselves on this plane.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm sinning against God. I don't any of that. I don't think that there's this entity that's sitting up judging us. In the sense of how we're taught in religion. I just don't believe any of that anymore. I have a different interpretation of scripture. I'm really versed in scripture, like I said, being a minister's wife, learning, because back when I was in college and all that kind of stuff, I hated people telling me what was. So I was like, I'm gonna learn Hebrew. So I'm gonna read the old stuff on my own, type of thing. I'm gonna interpret. You telling me I can't say what God's name is? Let me find out what Yud Hey Wah Hey means, like how I'm gonna say it, because I'm gonna say the name of God. Like, I'm just one of those people.
Right.
And so as I started learning, I'm like, you know what? We actually have the power to create whatever, and whatever consequences will come from our own actions is not something that, quote unquote, God did. All God gave us the ability to do is create. And any sin we commit is against ourselves. So I just feel like the stuff in the Bible is true, but I believe that religion was just meant to restrain and control people. Okay. And so I'm out of that. Yeah. It took a long time though. I feel like I had religious PTSD. I even had a clubhouse weekly talk about it.
Yeah.
Religious PTSD, yeah. But that's how I deal with it. I just look at it different. I still believe in God. I still believe that there is a governing spirit, but I just don't believe it the same way that I was first taught.
Okay. What is the most unusual request you ever received?
The most unusual for me, and I've only been pro-dominant for almost 2 years, it'll be 2 years this summer, is somebody requested to eat my dookie. Like, literally, like, want to eat it. Like,
all right,
it was a guy in Canada. He was just like, how much would I have to pay you for you to let me eat your and I was just like, I don't know if you could pay me enough, because I'm scared to do that. Like, what if you get a disease or something? Like, you're not supposed to be eating people's poop, like. But then I started researching about it. There's women out there that do it. They advertise having a clean diet, like all type of stuff. They charge you more if they eat very clean. You can choose what type of dookie you want to be getting. Like, it's crazy. That's one of my hard limits. It's called scat. I'm not saying I would never do it, because I never want to say what I won't do. in life. But at this moment in time, that is a hard limit for me. I just don't even want to smell my own poop, like let alone imagine somebody eating it. It make me feel like I'm gonna throw up. So I don't think I could do that. I know people who do it, and I don't judge them for it. Like you do you. But that's the weirdest one that I've had.
Okay. What
Girl said she had a guy want to do a custom video of him. Imagine her putting her toes in his eyeballs. But that wasn't a request from me. But that's one of the weirdest ones I've ever heard.
Oh wow. So with all of this,
She said, "I don't think I'm gonna do that one. That's just weird."
This, I mean, is I'm learning as you speak because I've known nothing about it. But my question to you is, with you being just 110 pounds, like you don't never feel like scared or fear for your life, like nobody like stalking you or anything like that.
No, and people have said that. This is my response to that always is one, this is a small world. Like BDSM is a very small world. And we always ask for references. One, if a sub wants to have an in-person session, you get references. If they've never sessioned in person before, and I do this whether they session in person before or not, but I always get their ID, I always get their LinkedIn, and referrals. But like I said, if they're new and they never session with nobody, then you can't get a referral.
Right.
But you do your little background check. Like a lot of DOMs, we got the little app. You can background check people's phone number and you can background check their name. But a lot of it is we talk amongst each other. And the other thing is you can have security, like maybe a friend come with you, something like that. If you session at a professional dungeon, that's good because there's security there too, and there's cameras. But on the mental level, what I like to tell people is honestly, BDSM is so much safer than vanilla. A BDSM guy who identifies as submissive, you're gonna be safer because sexual assault, violence, all that stuff, what is that all about? Power dynamic, power play. They just trying to take your power. Like scientists have already told us, psychologists told us, rape and all that stuff is about taking power. So a submissive man has already determined who has the power and what the power dynamic is. So I don't really have that fear that he going to try to dominate me or try to take my power because it's already been established and discussed who's in control. Now it could be they could be lying. There are men who are just fetishes who ain't really subs, but they have that fantasy of being dominated by a powerful woman. But again, that's why you gotta do your background checks and stuff. And but yeah, I guess at the end of the day, with anything, there's a risk. But I feel like because of the mental power structure that's already established, it's less risk of violence against me in that situation. Yeah.
Now, how do you plan on doing this for the rest of your life, or like is this your like career, and still have your other business?
So what I see for myself is growing in this dynamic. I do want to experiment with a lifestyle part of it. Like there's a woman that I watch and I follow. I've met too because she is called the Madame Caramel. They call her the Nubian matriarch because she's been around a really long time. And she throws every year what's called the Femdom Ball in London. I did attend last year. I may go this year, I'm not sure. But anyway, she has a living servant and her husband is submissive. And I like to watch everything. It's just like she's like this queen, and they are just at her beck and call. And I'm just like, could I live like that? Like, cause I have a living servant. Like, I want to try that. So I see myself doing that. Now, would it be for the rest of my life? I don't know. But at this point, I want to have a living sub, like a slave that is catering to my whims. And I'm actually working on that. I have one of my subs. Yeah. I'm about to make him join the Marine Corps, actually.
What?
We're talking about that. Oh
Oh,
yeah, I'm
okay.
taking this to the next level. Like I'm gonna be his checks when he joined the military is going to be going into my bank account. And I will give him a preloaded debit card for his weekly expenses, but the checks will be deposited into my account. Like that is my ultimate. Like I feel like if I could get a man to join the military and give me all his stuff, hey, I'm the dog.
Officer
Officer
or
or
enlisted?
enlisted?
He only got his high school diploma, so he gonna be enlisted.
Oh.
Yeah, but it would be nice to get me a college graduate to go to OCS. Yeah, that'd be even better. But it's okay because I'm gonna be controlling. Like he gonna be going up the ranks. I'm gonna be pulling the whole puppet string the whole time.
All right. That's wild. That
That
is
is
Especially
wild.
the way this administration going all racist. I already talked to him. I was like, this is going to happen. I said, if it keep up like the way it is against women and people of color and black people, you going to be their voice. I said, because you're going to keep going up through the ranks. I said, but people ain't going to know that you actually an ally. He was like, yes, goddess. We'll do the plan. Look, he's working out. I'm telling you, the plan is already going. He started his workout regimen. I made him quit vaping, everything. Yep. And he's so happy. He's like, I have a plan now. And now it's to the point where he worshiping me. He is.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see how that's gonna turn out. Like I gotta listen, 20 years. I'm locking him down 20 years or so. I don't know. We'll see.
That's crazy. For the people, before we get out of here, I always do this thing called gym class, GEM. Like, what is a gym that you can give to the women or the men out there that's looking to do some dominatrix or whatever, any type of gym?
And you know what? This is a gem. Be mindful of your words. Like truly, truly be mindful of your words. In the scripture it say in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. That is all you really need to know, as far as to get you where you want to be in your life. Watch what you say, watch what you give power to. And your words really are like they're like tools that build your life out. So be mindful of what you send it out there. It's gonna come back to you. Trust and believe. That's one gem. And the other thing is stay true to you. For real, it sounds so cliche, but so many decisions we tend to make is based on what we think other people going to think about us, or what effect it will have on other people. You are the star of your own show, and the people around you are the players in your show. They're the actors in the show.
Right.
And but you're the main character, so focus on developing your story arc. And don't worry about the other people and what they think. What they don't live your life.
Right.
The reason I say that is because when I went to join the Marine Corps, everybody was like, don't do it, don't do it. Da, da, da. When I went to leave the Marine Corps, everybody said, don't get out. You shouldn't get out. And that hit me right there in that moment. I was like, these the same people that told me not to join.
Right.
I was like, that's what I said, you know what? From that point on, I was like, all the decisions I make, I ain't asking nobody. I'll just do what I think I should do. And I feel like everybody should. Can't nobody live your life for you. So stay true to yourself, do what you want to do, and try your best not to worry about what other people are going to think about it.
So be mindful of your word and stay true to you.
You're going to be happier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like, because even with me, like with the podcast, I was just like, you know what I mean? Relationships worth more than money. Like, it's more than just money. It's just, what relationship you build to get to where you at right now. And that's why I like interviewing all different types of people, because it's everybody out there. It's not just one set person or one set job or anything that, that interests people, which I'm sure this will give a few people an eye opener. You know what I mean? Because you telling me this like crazy. So if it's this small, you know what I mean, you start looking at what's going on in the world right now, and it's pretty much people out there that does dom and fem and sub and uh, those type of activities. But it's dope. I mean, if everybody, I don't judge nobody. I just want to know, like, dive into like what you got going on, you know, and what makes you want to do this and the reason why you do it. So, as always, I appreciate you for coming on to the pod. I know we've been trying to set this up for a minute.
I know.
It's been a minute. But yeah,
I've been trying to get off social media. That's why I don't be on there like that.
yeah. Cause you like I hit you and like you hit back like every now and then.
You should definitely get that book, Careless People. I just ordered it. I can't wait to read it. But the last thing I wanted to say too. Oh, I don't remember the name of the lady, but I posted it. She used to work at Facebook.
Okay.
She was the one that was testifying at Congress about them.
Oh, yeah. I don't know her name, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Carolyn some, I think it might be, but I'm not sure. Wells, it's hyphenated last name, but in any event, the name of the book is Careless People. And that just solidified, like just the excerpt of the book solidified, I got to get off of social media. They have 5,000 data points on each person. On each person that has an account. And anyway, you'll have to see. But the last thing I wanted to say is I wrote a book and I'm excited about it. It's a vampire book.
Okay.
And it's called Anella's Tarot. Fangs and Bones.
Tarot.
Yeah, I'm writing book 2 right now. So neither one of them are published yet.
Okay.
But they will be. So I just wanted to throw that out there too.
Make sure you do an audio book too.
Get a thing.
Do an audio version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do an audio version.
I will. I can narrate it myself, right?
Yeah. I can record you. Yeah, I can record you.
And you're in Maryland, right?
Yep. Not too far from DC.
See, I'm gonna come through.
All right. Well, I appreciate it like that. We gone.